All right. What's everybody doing? Jeez, where in the hell has Odd been? Oh my gosh. I have been working really hard this year. So last year, let's go in and play some Tour 7. We'll just have a conversation here. So this is for all my teammates because my teammates are like freaking out, like, where the hell is Odd at? And I appreciate anybody who's watching the video. Hey, leave a comment and cheer me up, man. I have been working super hard. Last year, I started a business last year, and we tested all of our stuff out, and we worked the year before. But last year was kind of our first year of like trying to really hit the season hard, and then COVID hit, and it was a rough year. And coming out of the winter, we've had a fantastic year up to this point. We've been working really steady, but like it's long hours. And so I haven't really had a lot of time for golf. The deal is that these games for me, I've played this game since it first came out, and about 3 years into it, if you're really trying to be competitive, it you get where in the hell am I at? I know they changed all these holes, so I'm gonna play at the. What I really need is my number. I'm not sure if I have it. Sniper might work better, and definitely a rock. And a Titan would help me out right here for sure on the second shot. Rock, one per ring. If I can remember, hell, it's been so long since I played. I gotta remember here. So it's 7 rings. See if I can hit perfect. First shot out in a long time. Hitting it perfect. El Perfecto. Maybe that'll be a sign of things to come. Yeah, so I've just been really super busy. I've been trying to get everything growing and going, and everything's going really good. But on the flip side of the coin, it doesn't leave me a lot of time to play golf. When they came out with the changes where the wind varied from round to round, the whole deal is that it's all about practice time. It's all about studying the holes and knowing the wind. And my understanding is that they have changed that to where you can now practice. You can spend practice tokens, which brings us all back. It's the big circle. These games get to about 3 years and they figure out a way to monetize and that is the way to go. That's about where my opponent's at. This would be a great opportunity for us to see, and that's a pretty good ball to use for that. There's several shots you can take down there depending on what ball you bring. And I'd really like to get to the point where right there was where my red line was at, not where my red line started or ended. And I'm going against the headwind. Hitting it perfect. 2 perfect shots in a row. I don't think I have enough on there against that headwind. It's going to hit the rough right here. Let's see if it gets out. Nope. No such luck. That's right where I hit it, though. I should have adjusted out for that headwind, but that would have put me more in the rough. The headwind was going from the left to the right. Well, obviously, my opponent that direction. I didn't adjust out that wind. I adjusted out the wind, but I didn't adjust for the... See if my opponent can get good to go. We can make the shot, though. And that is the shot. There is a nice little rough bump there. Nice. Nice shot, man. Nice shot. Okay, at this point, my nirvana. Wind is definitely going to play a factor. I'm going to go about three halves a cup. And I hit it 1 ring great to the left. And it went 1 ring great to the left. Good game. Getting the hole. Getting the hole. It's not over yet. What club they bring out? They brought in an in-bringer. I actually feel like I have a shot. I know there's two schools, people that are like totally in-bringer and totally rapier. And when you get your in-bringer to a certain level, it does take over. But until I get my in-bringer to that level, my rapier is definitely the club. Good game. Good game. Let's replay them and see if we can win. Let's see if we can win one. Let's see if there's all new courses in this, and I know that they've changed the courses that are in Tour 7, but I haven't kept up with the changes, so we'll just have to go play these courses and see what. Oh, dang it! I wanted to replay that guy. Arr! That was my bad. That's a Ricky move right there. We can look and see what courses are in this. I'm starting to maybe be happy. And we have club card trading I can do today too. So where I'm at is I've got all my clubs are maxed, all my rares and all my commons are maxed. And I kept one of my rares, my razor, because I will never use that club. I kept that club, that rare, open so that if the Firefly or the Boomerang are not the epics that I'm putting points into, then I can choose my razor and I can save those 30 and sell them later when I run out of everything and the only thing I have left is a razor. And I'll use those points instead of wasting them on a Firefly. I've only got 5 clubs that I'm putting points into. I'm putting points into Thor's Hammer, Apocalypse, and I hardly ever see Thor's Hammer. I've never seen Thor's Hammer. It's just one of the super rare clubs in this account. So is a Hammerhead. But I'm putting points in the Cataclysm, Thor's Hammer, Apocalypse, Cataclysm. Off-Roader. Every time I get the Off-Roader, I put points into it. Spitfire, every time I get Spitfire, I put points into it. So those are the only epics that I'm putting points into. It's not that some of those other clubs, but you have to pick some. If you start putting all of your points into, you got to pick the ones that you want to do. All right. Enough of that. Let's go back to Tour 7 and let's just see what happens. We're playing with a Marlin ball. I was going to look to see. Let's go back. Let's see what courses are in this. The Oasis. I like the Oasis. Kohong Resort. I don't remember any of those holes. Jamal Dunes. There are some of those holes in Jamal Dunes, like the one we were just on, that if I would have upped my ball to what my opponent had, I would have had a better shot at it. Especially in nav, just to cut the wind down. You don't necessarily need the curl of a Quasar. So hopefully everybody else out there is doing really good. Put a bunch of comments in the comment section, and I really want to do a shout out to my clans. I know I feel like I've let everybody down, but I'm just, sometimes life is the deal. And I've played a bunch of these types of games where you play them for a certain period of time. And usually when you get to that 3-year mark, stuff changes. And I've been successful in all of the games that I play. I love video games. But I get dead serious. My wife is always like, oh my God, he's into a different video game. Hey, if you're gonna compete, you wanna have some fun. You want to at least be good in what you're competing in. And I'm just a rookie. Most rookies have the same shit that I got. All of the rookies that I play, at least in tournaments, have the same shit that I got. That's why you got to practice. If everybody's like on that same thing and they all have the same shit, then the only advantage you have is to practice. So you got to be willing to spend the time to practice. But I suppose I could try and force myself to just go out and play and have some fun. What's so weird about it is I hardly ever played where I wasn't shooting video. So, I mean, like the funnest time of playing is when I'm shooting video, because I'm not really thinking about playing. I'm just out like doing the thing. Some days I have really good days and some days I get my ass kicked. There's 5, 6, 7, 8, 2. Yeah, it's about 8-5. It's a little bit of an overpull. Just go straight at it. Oh, One ring great to the right, and that's the worst side. Either side here is bad, but I might be able to breeze through that. Nope, that's a dead deal. That's 2 shots in a row I've been in the rough like that. I got to remember how to play. What's that feel like? That'll give me some good time in my my mid clubs to try and get my aim back. See if I can pick up the magic on my Hornet. So the goal right now is to get in a minimum Hornet range. Where's my cheat sheet? I still have my cheat sheet. I've cleaned my desk numerous times, but my cheat sheet, I never take it off my desk. I look at it on a regular basis and go, why the hell aren't you playing more? So short iron Hornet 2.0 per ring. I should bring my phone out to have a calculator. Hell, I used to play this game, I think. My opponent opened the door. Now we can catch up. You can't make any mistakes. But I still want to get this. I want to get up there into my minimum Hornet range. I'm at max club, so I should be about 2 per ring. There's about 5-2. Hit 1 ring great to the right. Whole goal is to recover and try and get my minimum Hornet range. It's 2.0 per ring. Let me find my phone. Where the hell is my phone? We'll have to do the math in our head. Don't worry, it's not the end of the world. Had to go get some tasty beverage. See if my opponent can get in from the sand. Great! I'm familiar with that term. All right. My opponent made a mistake. I made a mistake. My opponent made a mistake. Now let's see if we can recover. I'm in my rapier. Oh, there's max club. I don't have enough backspin, so I'm going to have to be in my rapier. My rapier is 1.2 at max. So there's 3-6. It'll be about a 10% pull. We'll go a little less. I'm going to go 3-3. And that was like 75 rings great to the left. Just a bit outside. Just a little. See if my opponent can get in the hole. Get in the hole! Wind should not play a factor at this range, especially if you have a club that has a lot of topspin. You can run that topspin out, and wind is not a factor. With those clubs, I still don't think wind's a factor, but it could be. It's one of the. There are some holes though that it's not beneficial to run out the topspin. You get on some of these par 3 or holes where the green has a lot of moguls on it. A couple holes come to mind. One of the holes, the last time we played it in a tournament, or a tournament that I played in, they had changed it. They took all the moguls off, and I actually thought that even though it made it easier, it enhanced the shot to the left. And I always go to the right. This is a bitch of a par 3 to be doing on, and there is a rough bump that's here, but it's difficult. Okay, there's max club. There's min. So 1.0, that should be about 1.1. I'm going to do like a 20%. So I'm going to do like 2.6. That's 1.1. There's 2.2. That's about 2.6. Hit it one ring great to the left. You're great. Yo left. Yo left. We're safely on. That should be easy to beat. I'm going to have to remember how to play that hole. That's definitely one of those holes that hitting that great to the right, you look at how far away it was 6 something, 656, 665 something. That great to the left puts it more on that hillside in that dip, and so its distance is not reflective of how my tail was when I ran out my topspin. If I'd hit that perfect, it would have hit all of this movement that's on the course right here on the green. It would have hit that different, and it would have rolled. It could have rolled. It may have been shorter or farther away, or it may have been like right on it, because you don't know how. If you get the right angle, you can run up there. These types of holes are fun, and my opponent's got that bounce over shot down. Excellent, good game. All right, let's not be a rookie, and let's not exit out immediately. Let's wait and try and replay. See if we can get that process down. Rematch. Let's go, bro. I'm ready. Come on, dude. Give me a chance to win my money back. Oh, come on, man. How many have I played now? Like 16 games and I haven't won any? I have no chest to open. How can I cycle through? How can I possibly cycle through chests if I don't win any games? It is kind of fun just trying to remember all the numbers. A lot of these numbers I'll be like 89 years old on my deathbed and I'll still be able to tell you what some of these clubs can do. Now, the ideal shot here is to bring out a Titan and go off this island right here and try and end up in this shadow. And it gives you a rough bump that you can do with your short iron. It's going to be difficult to get up in there with a Marlin. And they'll have a nice shot from right there. A very nice shot. I'm going to bring out a nav since my opponent brought out I'm going to bring out this bad boy. Three, 1. There's 2. There's 3. I want it to go just a little bit to the left. I really like to hit it perfect, but I hit it at least a good solid 2 rings great to the right, so it's going to end up in the rough. I got super lucky. I got unlucky that I'm on that pad, but I got super lucky I ended up in a fairway from there, because that's a long shot. But I should have a pretty decent shot there. I learned something on this hole. When this hole first came out, I had some success on this hole, and then I was unsuccessful for a while. And I was doing this rough bump, and if you're in the perfect spot, nice shot. If you're in the perfect spot, I was putting myself a little too close in this rough bump, and I watched an opponent, and they pulled back, and they were 2 rings off. I was trying to get really close, but they were 2 rings off in the rough, and it responded different. Yeah, that freaking tree's in my way. I want to see if I can get down there without using any curl. Anytime you add the word curl into a shot, it's not good. I don't think I have enough. There is not enough to work that wind out. What? And I'm in the drink. I'm in the sand. I got my butt kicked. That's 3 in a row. Man, what a rookie. That's what happens when you take time off. You forget how to play. You forget how to drive the car. Let's just go out there and kick somebody's ass. I got to call my buddy Scooby. I haven't talked to him for a long time. It's been at least a month since I talked to my buddy Scooby, and we used to talk almost every day. At least once a week, like talking and seeing how the deal was. But he's been super busy too. He works at a resort in upstate Pennsylvania, and they're really busy this time of year. They're all happy the vaccine's out so they can get back to trying to have a regular life. Nobody wants to talk about that shit. It's all weirded out. Man, it's like the freaking smallpox vaccine or the fucking polio vaccine. I mean, we've all had it. Let's get it. Let's move on. It's part of the deal. My opponent's got a big ass ball too, or they got some special ball. That's not good. Let's see if I can actually get through a hole and actually just go out there and play fairway to green. That's the whole way to play this game, right? If I'm going to go back and listen to myself and learn some lessons, the whole way to play it is fairway to green. This freaking headwind is not helping. Every hole, there's been big headwind. 2, 4, 6, 8. I'm about 2 miles per hour into power. And I'm hitting everything great to the right. And I'm right up against stuff. And in the fairway. If you bring a ball that has side spin, in a tournament, this is one of the holes that like has a huge funnel where if you do the rough bump and you've got 3 side spin, at least 3 side spin, you can guide that ball right to the hole. And if you hit it perfect, it goes in the hole. It's like a dead deal. And it is a long rough bump. But you have to have a 3 side spin ball. You can't achieve the shot without expending at least a kingmaker. You need a 3 power ball to get you to where you want to get on the drive. Because you really want to be right here in front of the sand. And you can take this shot. You're not in your red line, so you're up in there. And you're right there, and you can do this rough bump. But we're not... we don't have the right crap for that. So we have to adjust how we're coming in at it and have a different way. Okay, so 2-6. There's 2-5. Here, let's just do it the right way. Let's remember how to play the game. There's 2-5. There's 2-6. Hitting it perfect. El Perfecto. Let's see how far off I am. Let's see if we can at least get some shots to go towards the hole. Just a bit outside. I should have pulled it more. So from that distance, I pulled 2-6. That was at least 10 to 15% off. And I did come in there with a little bit of speed, so I would have had to hit the flagpole, or it would have bounced over the edge. So it was probably at least a good 15%. So if we're playing these holes on a regular basis, we're trying to remember, that's the whole deal right there. We play with like 20%. And we'd make a big jump. So like the next time you play this hole, you're coming in on that shot, you change the number and you find out what starts getting you right at it. If your speed is off, at least you know, ideally you want to get your speed down so that you're as close to the hole as possible. You want to be at the closest distance you ever encountered the hole. Because a lot of times people will be whiff the hole like I did, and you'll lose those shootouts. in the hole. Let's see if they'll replay. Hey, I finally won one. What's the deal? I remembered how to play. Or they screwed up big time. Come on, dude. I'll give you your money back. Hey, you got a really good chance today. It'd be crazy not to take me up on that offer. Hopefully everybody's having fun out there. I really want to talk to the people that are in my clan and the subscribers to my channel. I really love this game, and I'm just awed by how many people actually watch the videos and and are part of the system. Involved in the deal, because you can't walk up to the average person on the street and talk to them about your success or your failures in Golf Clash. You know, that epic fail where you got that fourth. Fourth has got to be the worst number. Like if there was a top 10, like even if you were 8th, hey, you made the top 10. Everybody up to 5th can say, hey, I made the top 10, or hey, I made the top 5. So then you can really start to get down into the deal. But 4th is like of those, 4th, like, hey, I made the top 5, or hey, you're in the top 3 and you're on a podium. So where the hell did 4 go? 4 got left behind. The smart play on this hole is to land right here in front of this bunker and then take a hornet right to the hole. But if you got the wind going in the right direction, and we do, we could try and go for the green and 1, but we'd have to bring out a bigger ball. I don't know that a 1 power ball would get up there. A katana, but my opponent's using a 1 power ball, and I'm not going to do it. I'll probably just use a marlin. That's a long shot from there. I'll definitely use a marlin. I think they can make that, though. And recover. Man, it's pretty tempting. Let's see how far a marlin can get up there. Yeah, not far enough. And it's more important to get up there. So let's put a little bit of right-hand side spin on. Let's try and go through the gap so that we're going into a big-ass opening. So if I don't hit it perfect, I'm not going to get penalized as much. Fairway to green. That's the whole goal here. I just moved it 8-4. And I hit it great to the left. Which puts me at risk of going into that bunker. That's why it's so important to hit perfect. I lost my perfect timing. I played not this spring, but last spring of 2020. And then I played a little bit in the summer. But we were trying to get stuff going. And by the time we got to the wintertime, you know, I'd already stopped doing stuff. So it was easy to just continue to stop doing it and not shoot videos. I used to shoot like 40 videos a week because I'd shoot every hole. It was fun back then. And the other thing about it is the Golf Clash notebook has really screwed me up because I use that as a total resource. And there's a bunch of courses that it doesn't have in there. And those previous tournaments, there's probably, hell, over 20, probably 30 tournaments that aren't in Golf Clash Notebook. So I can't go back to the most recent tournament to find video of what we were doing. And that has really jacked me. Let's put some backspin on. Let's see where I need to be. I need to be right there. It's going to go a little low. 5-9. I'm going to move it 3 rings. It should be about 6. And I hit it great to the right. Surprise, surprise, surprise. And ended up way great to the left. The wind seems like it's affecting the ball And I'm not shooting very good. But that right there should have ended up on the right. You would think. That's how far off I am. I mean, if you're shooting shots and you hit it great to the right and it ends up to the left, I mean, think about where you set it up. This is why it's important to record your own video. I use DU Recorder, and I don't think DU Recorder's in the Play Store anymore. You have to go to you got to go to Google and you got to download it that way if you want to use DU Recorder. But DU Recorder, there's some stuff that I've just always used DU Recorder, so that's the deal. But I have a separate pen that freezes the screen so you can draw on the screen. Old school DU Recorder has a brush. And it's right here. And I use it occasionally, but when I'm really drawing stuff out, I use the other one. But you have to pay to get that brush in DU Recorder. You used to have to pay. I'm not sure you do anymore. Now, it seems to me that this hole right here had like a 10% adjustment. And there's a rough bump down there, but you got to get to it. And ideally, I like to be on the rough bump on the corner up here where, especially the way the wind's blowing, if I'm off to the left or the right and I don't pull enough, I end up still clipping the rough right here in front. I don't like to hit it where I'm hitting the rough on the side, especially with this kind of wind. Because if you make a bad adjustment, you could end up in the sand or you could end up hitting the fairway. Or if you don't hit perfect, you'll hit the fairway and you go for a ride. But if you're off to the left or the right and you're in the rough with this wind to the left and the right. Now, if the wind was blowing forward and back, it would be better to hit in the one spot. At least your adjustment would be purer. And it's tricky when you're up there in the front. Let's see what kind of roll they got. Now you can see the distance. They were the closest to the hole if they would have stopped right there. So distance is super important. Obviously, we want to get our accuracy down, but distance is super important. Man, I'm in my extra mile. It's freaking massive. Let's try it with the extra mile. Let's see if we can get this down. .7. 2.1 per ring, so there's 1.5. I'm going to go right to the edge of the rough, and we're trying to reconnect you, and I have 10 seconds left, and I have 5, and I hit it one ring great to the right, or left. And the closest spot I was to the cup was right back here. So that's 3.56. I was probably pretty close to right at 2 if I would have stopped at the closest distance to the cup. Distance, super important. See if we can fill them all up so we can cycle through some. I'll shoot an hour's worth of video. How much have I shot right now? If you're still watching, thanks for watching. 34 minutes. We still got some games in us. Hey, no, I don't want to play Tour 9. I want to play Tour 7. I've never taken this account. I've won a few games. I accidentally jumped in and won a few games in Tour 8 and ended up opening up Tour 9. Tour 9 used to not be open in this account, so I didn't start there. But like sometimes you just jump on and you do exactly what I did right there. You just punch it and you go in and you play that tour. I've never really played this account over Tour 7. So everything it has, it's got just from playing up to that level. If you go up and you play Tour 8, Tour 9, Tour 10, especially around Tour 10, you really start to get some kick-ass prizes. I mean, you start to get shit that's in chess that counts. You start to work on those epics. This hole right here is great with a katana and a guardian for your second shot. If you can get out to the end with a Titan with a 3-power ball, Kingmaker works better. But you might be able to do it with a katana. If you can get out here to the end, there is a rough bump that you can do. But if you're not in the right spot for the ref bump, there's another shot that you can do with with backspin. Like if you're too far into your guardian, so a katana might work really well for that second shot. If you're too far into your guardian, you can backspin it on. So the guardian gives you, and you can just barely make it over if you're short on the other side. And gives you all 3 shots. But if you bring a sniper, you only get 2 out of the 3. But one of the shots is a lot easier if you have to make a long shot from here. It is easier with a sniper because it has more topspin. Maybe we can make this over. It's difficult with a freaking Marlin, but my opponent is using a katana. So, you know what, dude? We're using a katana. And it's 5-4. I'm going to do 10%. I'm going to do a 6. That puts me about 2 and a little in the power, or a little less than 2. Hit it 1 ring great to the right. Yo, right! Of course I hit it 1 ring great to the right. Where the hell else would I hit it? And where you really want to get, if you get too far down here, it gets scary as hell because you can see on the other side of this mogul, it's downhill and it'll lead you right into the rough. And you can get really close to the rough down there, but the last little bit is kind of scary because you think you're going to roll into the rough. And if you roll into the rough, it is big trouble. Big trouble. It's no bueno. So right here, this is the shot where if you have a sniper, it's easier to make it over with a sniper. If with a guardian, you just barely have enough topspin to get over. But you do have that second bounce ref bump that you can take advantage of. When you get your guardian higher levels, you get better ball guide, so it's not that bad a deal. And you can get some extra topspin if you get it way up in level. Not a lot. Don't get excited. You can still go to Golf Clash Notebook and you can check that stuff out. I don't think the club stuff has changed. I brought a sniper. The sniper works well on 2 of the 3 shots, but the guardian works really well on this shot. Sometimes you get into a spot where the guardian, especially if you got a big enough ball and you hit it out there far enough, where your guardian is 5-3, yeah, max. There's 5-2.5. There's 5-3. Getting it perfect. Now, if it goes to the left, I should have taken more wind out. If it goes to the right, it's downhill and I should take some off, but I should have added on at least a good 10%. It's one of those deals you can make a big jump. Next time you're on that hole, make a 20 and try and end up on the other side. Then you know it's somewhere between 0 and 20. You can try 10. We're playing the clock game. And that's the whole thing that cracks me up is that, okay, so the way the tournaments have worked, they've had changes along the way, but they tried to level the playing field because people were bitching. And in doing so, they changed, and one of the ways that they did that was they changed the wind. And now you can practice against that wind, so you can get a practice round that day. The way real golf works, and it really was fair when it was just a random deal. What would really be fair is if it was a random deal and they didn't announce it and they didn't do the deal and that's a whole way of monetizing it, which I'm not saying is a bad deal for Golf Clash. It's a great deal. But for us as a player, it does monetize the game. I can't even remember this hole. There is a rough bump that you can do on this hole too, and it is pretty scary to come down in here and do that rough bump. But I believe if you can hit that rough bump, it's pretty money. And man, it seems like we were doing it. It seems like we were doing an adjustment here. There's another way. I see people hit off of this hillside in the past, You can see right here where it's darker, so it's kind of flat down at the bottom. And so if you're taking the shot going over from that side, bouncing over, I've always taken the shot from the bottom, trying to hit it on the flattest surface I can find so that the hill's not involved. I'm trying to take that hill out of play. So my opponent was probably 0.5 away from the hole at their shortest distance. They were right there. Let's see if we can beat that, if they actually would have shot it. So sniper, and I'm in my red line there, so I'm gonna just try and get it over. Which way's the wind blowing? Okay, there's a spot down here that's pretty damn flat. That's as much backspin as I got. Man, I have to make a really good wind adjustment here. I'm going to err on the side, and at least if I hit wrong, I hit to the left. And I hit to the left because I was thinking hit to the left if nothing else. Then you're staying away from it, it all becomes about distance. So if I would have stopped at my shortest point, I would have beat their 0.5. Good game. Jamal Dunes, hole 7, par 3. I don't remember any freaking hole. I know some of the holes just because I've played them forever and they've been out since the game came out. But like there's some holes that and even those ones I couldn't tell you. If you showed me a picture of it and told me what it was in, I'd know. But there's a lot of these holes I don't even know what course they're in. I just go play them. I think there might be a few holes. I'm not sure. They came out with new holes a lot when the game first was out. Which way's the best way to take this hole? There's a trick on this hole, but of course we're going against a freaking headwind. Five, 6. It's 2.1 per ring, so there's 6.3. So I'm going to go a little less than 2 rings, or a little less than 3, excuse me. I want to put a little curl on it. Not a lot, but I need a little. And I hit 1 ring great to the right. If I can make it past this first bounce, I probably got a pretty good shot here. Overshot it. I was trying to do a rough bump, actually. And just roll out onto that pad. But I can recover from here. Most people that play this hole play to this area over here, and I have no freaking idea why. Because if you play from over here, unless you bring out a monster ball, or you get way down to the end and you still need to bring out a big ball, you can't get over. You're just hitting to this pad. So that's relegating you to 1 shot, 2 shot to this pad, and then trying to make a short iron, and there's a killer rough bump from that angle. But you're going to take 3 shots to get your opportunity at the hole. But if you can shoot to that little island that I was trying to shoot to, you can get on it too. And then you're putting for eagle. But you actually have an albatross shot, and it isn't a very pretty one. But you actually have an albatross shot, and you can go off of that island right there. So I'm not going to be able to make it even with the rough iron. And with the way the wind's blowing, man, I'm not relegating myself to this island over here. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to see if I can get it rough bumped in there. Not with a slice. I might actually be able to drink. Let's see if my opponent can lay themselves up. And there is no, what you want to be able to do is hit this island right here, this little pad. So you need to stick on that pad that was over there. If you're on that fairway, in that lower one, you can get to that And if you've got a sniper, a guardian, any whatever level clubs you've got, if you've got that, you'll be able to get over there. A guardian can get over there because it has lots of backspin, and you can overpower with backspin, and it'll help you out a lot. But a sniper will work just as well. It's just a sniper sometimes is short on distance. The last time I used my Spitfire, I was way the hell off to the left. So let's see if we can get this shit right. I'm pretty up close. You can tell by the size of the rings. I'm just going to do a couple rings. I should have checked my distance. Rookie move. Great. To the right. Yo, right. I like the fact that I hit it great to the right, and it actually ended up great to the right. The last time I hit it great to the right, and it ended up great to the left. That means you're way the hell off. Now what the Malibu has for it is that it's super accurate. And when you're doing rough bumps and you have a club like this that doesn't have a lot of topspin, or it's got that mid top spin, you can run it out, but you have to run it out when you're at distance from one cut to the next cut. You can't. Hey, good game. Nice shot. Good game. Let's give that guy a high five, man. The crowd went wild. Now we gave him some props. Let's see if he'll replay us. Come on, dude. Hey man, you're shortening up the video. What are you doing? I only got like 13 minutes, so we got to get at least two more in. We got to cycle at least one chest. Come on. We can't quit playing without filling up all 4 slots. We're going to play for chests. Let's play for chests. That's the thing is once you started buying some stuff, you'll get to the point where if you're speeding through chests and you're just opening chests, you never play with an empty slot. That's the whole deal. You know, you got to have enough gems that you can not play with an empty slot. And if you play on a regular basis, you can do the math, especially if you first start playing, you know, like on how many gems you're going to need in a week. And so what your investment's going to be. And they have a lot of ways that you can do it, but we used to not have a lot of things that we could spend gems on, but now there's all kinds of shit that you can spend gems on. And other than the R emoji, I'm not sure that there's anything I'm willing to spend my gems on. This is the bounce hole. And if I remember correctly, there is definitely an adjustment here. But it seemed like it was a big adjustment. And like you had to make it. Like normally with drivers, you may or may not have to make that adjustment and you'll still end up good. But this particular hole, it does help to make that adjustment. And it's a long shot. Quasar. I'm going to use a Marlin. What the hell? Let's use a Marlin. Swap out balls. Damn. It's a full power shot. I'm going to do 6. I'm going to put the power back in it. About 2 rings great to the left. Yo, left. And in the pocket. The fear here is if you're great to the right, it drifts at the end and you'll end up rolling into the rough. I'm not sure if we were getting up on this one where I don't think you can get up there far enough to do the rough bump, but you might be able to if you use the right ball. No, we're too far away. But we're using smaller balls, so If you had a bigger ball, the bigger ball may not help you as much on the drive, but on the second shot, it could really enhance you where you can get up here and you can really go at the hole. And I think there was a rough bump. And this is that green that's easy to roll off on the back and end up in the rough. It's easy to overshoot the hole. Hey, bitch. Sorry about that, ladies. And guys, there's 5, 6, 7. I need to move it 1.5. Let's see if I can get the shot up before I run out of time. Maybe. I think guys I call my male friends bitch all the time. Close. It's easy to end up rolling off on that hill. That's a tough Alvy shot. Tough. That would have been a nice drop though. Would have been a nice finish to I could have finished right there with an Alvy. Like, look, I got some skills. I went out, I hadn't played golf, like real golf, with some buddies of mine from South Carolina, and I hadn't really played in about a year at that time. I played for probably 12 years where I was like playing like every day. At least a good 4 or 5 of those years, I played every single day. And the very first hole we got on, we were at a big course, and the first hole was a long par 4, and I parred it. And I told my buddies, I said, look, I have some skill, or I had some skill. So just remember this hole. I can always use this hole as an example. This is a hard par 4, and I'm the only one in the group that parred it, and you don't do that by accident. And then the round went to shit. Because I hadn't played in a long time. You got it. Good job. Okay. For all you scuba divers that are out there. Man, I'm not doing that rough bump with a 3-2 headwind. It seems like last time I was here, I didn't pull it enough. All right. Nice shot. Let's see if we can beat that. 179. And that's not the ideal situation, is to have to use overpower on a shot where you need to beat that. I'm not going to be able to do that shot anyways. $3 miles an hour. There's 3. Maybe just a little more. Go against that headwind. Get one ring great to the left. Yo, left. I got more room on the left on this second bounce. Now it's all about speed. All about speed. Good game. All right, dude. You wanted to replay. Let's see if you can replay. Let's go. I'm playing with 4 full slots, so I'm going to waste one here. Got my first goal. Oh. And like a rookie, I hit the button. And I still have enough room for one more game. Let's go win one more before we end this video. Just to let everybody know that I'm still alive. And maybe, just maybe, I can remember how to play this game. We'll see. The jury's still out. I gotta remember all the holes. I gotta remember all the nuances on the par 3s. Like if you're playing Tour 7, I really like a lot of the holes. It's just you just go out there and play them, and the whole deal is if you go fairway to green, you end up winning a lot of rounds just playing fairway to green. So your real big focus is really on the par 3s. And I'm not going to use anything more than a marlin ball. We got to learn how to play these holes with a marlin. Although when I first started playing, the whole deal was that like people go like, what do you spend your gems on? It's like, other than opening chests, I didn't realize that you could spend them on anything other than Titans. Of course, we got an 8-0 headwind. There's 2 max overpower hook shots you can do on this if you got the right ball. There's one that you can do that goes from the left to the right and swings you around and puts you out front. And there's another max overpower hook shot you can do from the right to the left. And the last time I played this in a tournament, I actually played from the right to the left and figured that one out, the ball club combo. I think I was using an Apocalypse, and I'm pretty damn sure I was using a Kingmaker. The tough part about this hole is I almost would rather do the max overpower than to hit out here. Extra mile, 9 miles an hour. There's 8. There's 9. Hitting it perfect. It seems to me that the last time that when I played these holes, that from up here going down, if you're trying to use this, you've got several options depending on what clubs you brought to the party. But there is a rough bump that you can do here. But I would only do it if the wind was blowing from the left to the right, like the direction the wind is blowing right here, because if you can hit that rough bump, the wind's blowing in the same plane as the rough. And so if you're off to the left to the right and you don't make the right adjustment, you still end up clipping the rough, which is the most important part of a rough bump. But it seems to me that the last time we were taking this, like playing this hole, that I was doing like a 30% wind. It was like a massive wind adjustment coming down here. And the way the wind was blowing, you can see my opponent did not make a big enough wind adjustment against that wind. It seemed like it was a huge number. Let's see where I can get. My red line's right there. Let's go for it. Let's do the rough bump. Let's be brave. I'm in my Grizzly, so it's 9-2, and I'm pretty close to max club, so there's 4, 2. There's 5. I'm going to move it 1, 2, almost 3 rings for the wind. And I hit it 1 ring great to the left. I ended up left, but it still seemed like I was way off left. And I may not have got the wind right there. Being a rookie bastard. Hell, man, I haven't played I literally have not played a game in the last 2 or 3 months. I get on every day and I do the club card trading. Because I have a bunch of reserve. That's the whole thing, as everybody bitched about it before the club card trading came out. We had nothing we could do with all of our extra clubs. So anybody who started the game off at the very beginning and had played for the 2 years before they did that, it was a big deal. Because we had a huge reserve of club cards. It took me about 3 months to start maxing out my commons and get my rares to a pretty good level, but literally it took, just here like in the last year, well, last year, probably like midsummer of 2020, I really had all of the rares that counted maxed out. I'm 100% sure this is a 10% wind adjustment. And the way the wind's blowing, if I can do that rough bump, I can. Eight, 2, 2, 4. Let's see if we can get this in the hole. Hitting it perfect. So we'll see how good my wind adjustment was. Hit the rough. That's important. Way off. Over pulled it. I was at minimum club. And I didn't know what my minimum numbers are because I hardly ever hit my extra mile at minimum club. So I just used the 2.1 for the max. Let's see if my opponent can do better. They got a lower wing because they got a katana. My buddy Dale Appleby's from Canada. Katana. It's a katana. What's up, Dale? My buddy Mike D. He's the clan president for the Kings of Golf. He's been calling me lately. He's been telling me I need to come out. I just need to get back on that saddle and shoot some video and post it. No editing. That's one of the things. I don't edit my stuff. Good game. Let's see if they'll replay. How much time we got? Are we at an hour? We are at 1 hour, and they didn't want to replay. Look at that. Was that fate? I don't need to watch the video. All right, I won five out of something. I don't know how many games I played right there, but at least got on a little bit of a run. Remembered how to play a little. We'll see how it goes. So to everybody out there, I will, probably the funnest part I had in the whole deal was the shooting the videos for the playthroughs. But it's a lot of work because I don't remember what tournaments. So like when the playthroughs come out, my teammate Des, he was in New Zealand. It seemed like he always got it early and would post it out so that we could, I could look at the holes. I got this little magnifying glass. I would look at the holes and I would figure out like which holes we'd play. And then I'd go on YouTube and I'd find video that I'd shot for those holes so that I could post a playlist and do the walkthrough. So that you had a playlist to go with the walkthrough. The walkthrough was a lot of fun, but the playlist was a lot of work. And I'll see what I can get done. Maybe I can start getting up earlier than I already get up, and shoot some video and get everybody excited again. I really appreciate all my fans and all my teammates, and if you're still of the game, we're still playing. Thanks for watching.